morning, welcome back to my channel. My name's Leonie, aka Stitching Noni, and this is my little corner of YouTube. So this is my Flosstube channel, and this channel documents my cross-stitch journey. Today is Tuesday, the 20th of January 2026, and we are on video number 72. This is a weekly update which will document my projects that I worked on and my progress from last week's video of the 13th of January through to yesterday, the 19th of January 2026. So yes, as I mentioned, it's a weekly update. So we're going to go through and frolic through my whips. I coined that last week. I quite like that. So we're going to go frolicking through my whips. Now, I think it's a wood of whips. So let's say we're going to frolic through the wood of whips. Let's see how far we get, shall we? So anyway, what did I work on this week? I had a reasonably good week. I did have 2 finishes, so that was a bonus, and I had a new start. So yeah, balance, I'm ahead of the game because I've had 1 more finish than I've had a new start. So quite happy with that. And we're pretty much going to have the usual suspects, but have I got anything different? No, usual suspects, except for obviously the new start and the finish. You've seen them before, so still usual suspects. Okay, so yeah, I'll just get going because I'm going to trip over my words all the way through. I think I better have a mouthful of that coffee in a minute and see how we go. So pull up a pew, grab your coffee, grab your stitching or your tea or whatever it is that you partake when you're watching videos and stitching, and let's get on with it. Bright light all of a sudden. So how are my stats for the week? So from the 13th to the 19th of January, I managed to do 3,303 stitches, and I worked on 10 projects. And as I mentioned, I had 1 new start and 2 finishes. So at the moment, my January stats and my 2026 stats are identical. So for the month/year, I have done 8,398 stitches and worked on 11 projects, and of course the starts and finishes are the same as this week. 2 starts for the year and 2 finishes. So in that sense, I'm still on track because yeah, finishes are cancelling out the new starts. So quite pleased with where I'm going with that at the moment. Now, I don't know what is. I think it's the air conditioner. I've got the aircon on, so, and also the washing machine's on, but I've closed the laundry door, so hopefully you won't hear that. And hopefully the aircon won't make too much noise. We're going for 38 or 39 here today. Further up the west coast, they're in heatwave territory. In the Pilbara where I grew up, they're potentially topping out at around 50. The town I grew up in is been mentioned again as being one of the highest. So yeah, about 47 maybe at Parabadoo today. Oh God, I remember those days when we used to get those temperatures. So yeah, but Perth's going to be a little bit cooler, 39, 38, 39. So yeah, so aircon's on, puppy's snoring, so she's in her position. We're all ready to go. So let's get into it. So the first one we're going to have, now I will obviously put up what the full coverage designs will look like and what previous before pictures, that's the word I'm looking for. So the first up is the HAED Sale 2026 Fairytale by Muse. So it is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and obviously the artist is Muse. I started this on the 1st of January 2026, and I'm stitching this on 25 count easy guide 1/1 full cross. The chart size for this is 225 wide by 394 high, which gives you a total of 88,650 stitches. And on my last video, I was sitting at 2,170 stitches completed for 2.45%. This week, I have put in another 1,214 stitches. So I'm now sitting at 3,384 stitches for the month, and for the year, so to speak. So I'm sitting at 3.82%. Really quite happy with that. And as you'll see, I have gone all over the world, all over the place, because a couple of days I still wanted to get my weekly stitches in for this, and I didn't really have a lot of time. So the best thing to do was to pick something that was a lot of, like black. And I started doing that. So I've done that in a few places. I've also done some 501 and I think 500, which there was a few more in this area. So we're a little bit higgledy. We've gone over into page number 2 on here, but that's okay because, you know, we'll match up. And then I think that's pretty close to the page break down here. I think I've gone a little bit over the page break. But ultimately, I'm really pleased. I have worked on this every single day so far this year. Now, I know that will change as the year goes on, which is why I'm trying to get myself as far ahead as I can with this one. So if I move over here so I can read my notes, I don't think I've missed anything. No. So my goal for this is 6 pages, which would be around about 44,000 stitches. So I've still got a fair way to go. My monthly goal to get to the 6 pages is around 3,700. So I'm on track to get my monthly goal. So I'm pleased about that. So that's where we're at with that one. Pop that one over there. Move a few things out the way. So quite pleased with that. And yeah, I'm very happy that I'm managing to get between 100 and 150 stitches a day on it. On a good day, I'll get over 200. On a bad day, it's about 120. So the next one we're going to have up, which is sort of like should be a daily, but it's not a daily. It is turning out to be a weekly, but you know, we're going to get the good and the bads. So this is 6 portals. Now this is the full 6 portals, which is right across there, but we're focusing on portal 6 in January. So this being 6 portals is charted by Paine Crafts, and the artist is Rose Catherine Kahn. I started this one on the 2nd of November 2025. It is stitched on 32 count easy guide 1/1 full cross. The chart size, now this is my biggest. It is 1,206 wide by 800 high, which gives you a total stitch count of 964,800 stitches, just shy of 1 million. On my last video, I was sitting at 5,038 stitches completed for 0.52%. Now, I've only managed 400 stitches this week, which is why I said it's now a weekly stitch. I did that Sunday, I think I sat in, or the other day, whatever day it was, can't remember, I think it was Sunday. And I managed to put in 400 stitches. For the month, I'm at 1,592 stitches stitched in portal 6. My monthly goal is around 3,700. So yeah, I haven't got a lot of time left in the month to get my butt into gear. But I'm now sitting at 5,438 stitches in total for this design, which is 0.56%. So all I've done is work on, where did I work? Oh yes, so pretty much, let's see what's the best way to do this. I worked over here and there, and all I did was fill in black and purple, actually 208, I did some as well. So I've done a reasonable amount on this side. So basically my idea was to just come over here, and I'm trying to get as much work done in those top, 3 rows. So 1, 2, 3, and see how we go. So basically that's it. So this is portal 6. Now, trying to get this stitched every day, which was going to be my plan, is to work on this every day, is not sort of working, but that's okay. So what I've decided is this will be my Sunday stitch, at least for the next few weeks, to see if that helps me push. It's mainly because I've been doing so many other little things that I'm not getting to this in the morning like my original plan was going to be, that I would stitch about 100 stitches every morning on this, and it's just not happening. So for the next few weeks, I will work on this on a Sunday and make it my Sunday focus most Sundays, and more about that in plans later on. But yeah, I still love this. Absolutely adore Portal 6 with all the purples is just gorgeous. Loving how it's looking. Absolutely love it. So very, very happy with that. So I will continue with Portal 6 obviously for January, and then I'll move across to Portal 5. Sure, I won't put that back in there, for the next month. So we will work our way across 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then in July we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll work our way back that way. That way I'm not moving that Q snap and repositioning the fabric that often, because it's a bit of a pain in the butt doing that. Next one is a weekly stitch as well. So this is my Flamingo in Flowers. So Flamingo in Flowers is charted by Stitches So Beautiful, and the artist is Eder Rosa. I started this on the 6th of June 2025, and it's stitched on 25 count easy guide 1/1 full cross. Chart size is 160 wide, which this is the full width, by 400 high for a total of 64,000 stitches. On my last update, last week, I was sitting at 10,058 stitches in total, which was 15.72%. I put in another 303 stitches on Friday. Well, actually it was Saturday because I didn't get to it on Friday, so it was Saturday, for a total of 908 stitches for the month, and obviously the same for the year. My monthly goal is around about 1,800 stitches on this, bearing in mind that I only work on it technically on a Friday, sometimes into a Saturday. 2026 goal is 50%. That's a little way to go yet. However, I have completed 10,361 in total, and I'm sitting now at 16.19%. So where did I work? Here. Pretty much. That's all I did. Don't think I went anywhere else. No, pretty sure that's all I did, 839. Because I didn't get to it on Friday and I was limited in time on Saturday, I just threw in 839. That was my go-to because I knew I'd get it done really quickly. I'm stitching this every week for the Stitches So Beautiful sale, where you need to get a minimum of 250 stitches on a Stitches So Beautiful chart to be eligible to get the free chart and then in the drawing for whatever the monthly prize is. So at the moment, the postings are Thursdays. So by working on it on Saturday, I've already posted for this week, so I don't need to worry about it now. And then I'll work on it again on Friday. And I will probably do a very similar thing and bring the 839 on this side down. I have been doing quite a bit of filling, but you know, a lot of these are now becoming a little bit confetti, and they take too long unless I've got a bit of time to actually spend on it. But absolutely stunning. Love this. It is just so beautiful. I really just, yeah, I love it. I love working on it, and I just love looking at it. That flower, every time I look at it, I cannot wait to get into the Flamingo. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. Very, very, very happy with the way that one's coming out. Very happy. Don't think that I have to tell you anything else about that one. Okay, now. So the next whip that I worked on this week and worked on yesterday, in fact, was my Story Key, a brush with Magick. This is a Heaven and Earth design, and the artist is Lisa Parker. Started this one on the 21st of December 2022, 25 count Lugana 1/1 full cross. It is 150 wide by 519 high for a total of 77,850 stitches. At my last week's video, because I did work on it last week as well, we were sitting at 39,621 stitches for a total of 50.89%. My monthly goal is about 1,500 stitches on this. So I'm a bit behind, so I need to do some work on this one the next couple of days. I did another 206 last night, so I've now for the month done 426 stitches, and same for the year. To get my yearly goal for this, which is 75%, I still need to do another 18,000 stitches or thereabouts. I'm currently sitting at 39,827 stitches, which is 51.16%. Now, where did I work this week? So yesterday, last night, I needed to do some stitches in brown. So for the Whip Warrior Stitch and Seek challenge that's on for January, one of the things to find is brown. So I just thought, well, 3371 brown. So I picked up 3371 in Pattern Keeper, and I just filled in all the 3371 all around in here, a bit over here, and filled in here and come across, and managed to get in total 200. I only needed 200 stitches, so I got 206 stitches of 3371 done, which was good. Which was good because there was a lot of injury type stitches and things in there, so I was quite pleased with that. I'm still trying to get this completed so that I can actually move the Q-snap. So that'll be a bit more of a focus because I need to get over in here. So even though I have been working on this area a little bit because I've been doing some black and 823 as well, trying to get those sorts of things finished. But yeah, but we're getting there. Just love the face. Oh, it's so cute, so cute. So now, the other thing with this whip is for this week, this is why it's staying out now, in the Down Under Divas deck of whips for the week, starting yesterday, Monday, this has been chosen. So the card was a club, and this is my whip for any club card that comes up. So that's why this is now going to stay out for a little bit longer, because I need to get my 500 stitches on this one for the week. So yeah. And my little mate over there, the 6 portals, that was my deck of whips one for last week, which is why I ended up doing 400 stitches on Sunday, because I needed to get it finished, the 500 finished for the week, because that was the closeout was Sunday night. So I did do that. So I was quite pleased with that. Let's move that over there. Right. So that's my Story Keep brush with Magic. We now have, I might just do this because they're all going to fall down in a minute. So I now need to pull out Cat Race. So Cat Race has had another little bit of love, and we are currently, I have to bring her over here. So we're doing blue still. So this is Cat Race. It is a Heaven and Earth Designs chart, and the artist is Jeff Haynie. I started this one on the 29th of December 2021. It is stitched on 25 count Lugana 1/1 full cross. The chart size is 675 wide by 483 high, which is a total of 326,025 stitches. When you saw this last week, because I did have this out last week, we were sitting in total of 8,340 stitches, or 2.56%. My monthly goal is 707 stitches, which I have achieved, so I'm happy about that. My 2026 goal for this is 5%, so I still need to get another 7,000 stitches in it. I'm currently sitting at 8,559 stitches, or 2.63%. So this week I only did 219 stitches, and I am still working towards my 1,000 prompt for Down Under Divas Alphabet Challenge for blue. So I've just been working in this area. So that's all I'm just working in at the moment. So I still have, I can't remember how many stitches I need. How many stitches still do I? Oh, I hate that when that happens. This happened last time. My laptop wants to do a scan. I'm gonna have to change the time that the scan starts, I think. Where am I? Down Under Divas. So I still need Cat Race. Yeah, I still need another 400 odd stitches. So 2 more sittings probably, or even 1 if I can get some good time on that. But that's where that one's at now. And I love this. Oh, this is so cute. I just love this. So cute. Yeah. very pleased with, at least this is getting some love. It did not get a lot of love last year. So it is nice to have this one out and getting some attention. The last full coverage for the week was Haunted House. Now, Haunted House, right, so last Tuesday was the 13th of January, and Haunted House comes out on the 13th of every month, and either just for the day or maybe a bit longer, it just depends on timing. This is a Heaven and Earth design chart, and the artist is Donna Gelsinger. I'm stitching this on a 28 count Lugana 1/1 full cross, and it was started on the 24th of December 2023. When you saw it last time, which was in my whip parade at the end of the year, I was sitting at 14,657,000 stitches, which was 2.82%. I have a monthly goal on this, about 1,000 stitches. Now, I know this is not going to happen because that means I've got to have it out for more than one day, but there may be a time when I can actually have it out for more than one day, depending on what else I'm doing. But my goal for the year is 5%. So that monthly goal is what I need to do to get to my yearly goal. I put in 301 stitches on Tuesday. So I'm quite pleased with the amount that I put in on Tuesday. I just should have it out for another few days to actually get this done. So I'm currently now sitting at 14,958 stitches on this for 2.87%. And basically, as far as I remember, I was just doing some filling in here. Again, picking the biggest amount of stitches or color, picking a color that had the highest number of stitches for an area, because I'm trying to, there is a bit of a page sort of here if I can come down. So I am just working on that. Adorable, adorable, love it, love it. So yeah, so who knows, it may come out yet for another day, another stitching session, but we'll just see how we go. Now I'm just going to pause for a second because I want to get the full coverage off the top of my other whip. So I'll be back in half a tick. Okie dokie, we're back. So that was all of the full coverage whips and work for the week. So reasonable amount of stitches on them, could do better. That's my mantra, I think, could do better. Right, non-full coverage stitching. So the other day, when was it? Yesterday, I think it was. Yes, it was yesterday. I had an early start on some stitching and I had a bit of time. So what I decided I wanted to do was put 100 stitches into some temperature stitching stuff. I will run through the temperature stitch stuff in a minute, but I'm just going to show you the whips anyway. So I pulled out red Berry Wreath. Now, I'm going to put up a proper picture because you'll get a bit of glare, so I'll do a screenshot and we can see that in a minute. So this one is a one I started back on the 18th of February 2019 and didn't get very far, so obviously I'll put the before picture. It comes out of the Just Cross Stitch Christmas Ornament issue for 2018, and I did start it for the Just Cross Stitch Facebook group sale when we were doing the ornaments for the year, which they're still doing, and I haven't just done it for a few years, but I'm getting back into it now. When I showed it to you, which was in my 2026 plans video, I believe, when I talked about what I was doing for temperature stitching, I had only done 133 stitches. I put in 101 yesterday, so I'm really pleased about that. So we're now sitting at 234 stitches in total for this project, and here's where it's at. Now, when I showed it in the video, I thought it was this way around, and I started stitching yesterday, and then I'm looking at it going, my stitches are going the wrong way. Why is that? So I turned it around until I got it to have my stitches go the right way and worked out that I obviously started and must have counted down from the middle to get to that to then do this. So this is it. Now, with this, the border is in a jodery called Eggy Bread. Now, I was obviously on I must use all my jodery threads kick a while ago because I've had a couple that I've started. I'm not 100% certain I like it, but I decided I'm not ripping it out. I know it was only 130 odd stitches, but I thought, nah, bugger it, I'm just going to keep going. It is only a small thing, and at the end of the day, it's going to go in a box and probably never had anything to do with it, so it doesn't really matter. So all I did then, yesterday, is went across and down for my 101 stitches. And that's where we're up. I'm not looking forward to these because I didn't enjoy doing those last time when I did that, but it'll be fine. So that's in Juniper, Week Star Works Juniper. And then the red, which are Smyrna Cross Berries, will be in DMC 815. And there is a star in the middle. So I'll have to go through, because obviously I don't have that star. So I'm going to go through my box of beads and stuff where I've probably got something that I can use, but I don't know yet. But I've made a start on getting it finished, so I'm quite pleased with that. Now, coming to the finishes that we've had. So this is really exciting. This is very, very exciting. So the other day, I had a little bit of time to spare, and I thought to myself, what I'm going to do, because I wasn't quite ready to get myself settled to do some full coverage stitching, because I knew I only had about an hour in the afternoon. So I thought, I'm going to see if I can just do something that might give me a finish. And I managed to do it. I finished Give Thanks, which is this one. Now, Give Thanks comes out of this magazine, which is the Just Cross Stitch issue October 2014. I started Give Thanks on the 29th of November 2020, and I finished it on the 16th of January 2025, and it's all done. I only had to do 178 stitches along the bottom to finish it the other day. So when I had it at my whip parade, that was all I had left, was just that last little bit. So in total now for the year, well, not for the year, on this project, there is 1,264 stitches. This is stitched on 28 count Joblin Jack's Rum hand dyed by Stephanie. Jack's Rum was the call for fabric, but I chose to do it in 28 instead of whatever they said, 32 or 36. So very pleased. All in DMC. I didn't use any of the suggested hand-dyed threads. I just did the DMC threads. I could have used apple cider for that, but I decided I would just do DMC at the time. So very, very pleased with that. That's a nice little finish. Now, this particular whip was used for my bake-off stitching. The contestant for this is still in the competition, and tonight's episode of Bake Off is the final. So either way, this would have had to have been finished some point in the next few days anyway. So I'm ahead of the game in a sense, but it's now finished. I'm really pleased that I've got that one finished. Finish number 2 for the month, for the year, for the week is Kangaroo Santa. So Kangaroo Santa was started on the 8th of December 2025 and finished on the 17th of January 2026. This is obviously a Mill Hill kit, and all Mill Hill threads, beads, everything that came with it. And I'm not very happy with my little moustache and beard. The thread twisted, and I was like, oh, nah, too bad, too sad. So to finish this off, I had to do 281 stitches, which was basically beading. There was a tiny bit of cross stitch, which I realized I'd missed when I was beading, but I fixed that up at the time. In total for 2026, I've done 403 stitches on this, and to the whole project, it's got 1,586 stitches in it. This is my Ashes stitching for Australia. So this is done now, and I still have a lot of stitches to get done for Australia. So I'm going to have to start a new one. And then once that one's done, I have to work out what I'm going to finish those stitches off in. But again, more will be said about that shortly. But yeah, I'm really pleased about this. It's so cute. It's so, so cute. Oh, I love those little kangaroos. But very pleased that that's finished. So that's both of those now done. I don't have the Kiwi one. I only bought the 2 Australian ones. So that's the Down Under Santas. So the New Start is my last whip to show you. I will put a picture up for it because I haven't printed it off. I wasn't going to worry about this one. So I started this yesterday, the 19th of January 2026. This is Home for the Holidays. Now, I'm using this one particularly for my, I forgot to tell you, Give Thanks was a hands-on design. I forgot to tell you that, but I just realised. So Home for the Holidays is being used for temperature stitching, but it is also the Just Cross Stitch Sale Facebook group. This is the January project. The chart is from the Just Cross Stitch Christmas 2025 ornament issue, and the designer is Crafty DH. I'm stitching this on a 32 count Joblin. I don't know what the name of it is, but it is a colour cascade fabric, and this is my little teeny weeny start. I put in 100 stitches yesterday as my little teeny weeny start. My goal, obviously, for the year is to get this finished if I can. I won't get it finished in the month. It would be really great if I could, but I will just try and get another 100 stitches in this to get my 200 stitches for a New Start. It is a temperature stitching one, as I mentioned, so I think when we get to temperature stitching in a minute, I think I still have another 50 stitches left to do to catch up with that anyway, but at least I've started this one, so I'm quite pleased. Now, in the chart, there is a little tiny bit at the bottom, which is really bizarre. So you will see when I'll put the picture back up, you'll see at the bottom of the house, there's this little triangle of red sitting in the snow. I don't know what that is, so I'm not stitching it. It's all going to be white, so I'm just doing that. Now, I don't know if the intent is that the snowdrift that's up against the house has slipped a bit and it's showing some of the bricks. But to me, it looks odd, and I have seen people have stitched it and it still looks odd. So it doesn't look, to me, it just doesn't look right. This is personal opinion. It doesn't, I don't particularly want to stitch that red triangle-y bit at the bottom. So mine is going to be white all the way across. And I've also picked out a pale yellow-ish colour because for the downstairs, I'm putting yellow in the windows to say that the lights are on. I'm not 100% certain yet what I'm going to do upstairs, whether I do something like a little corner will be yellow to make it look like there's maybe a candle in the window or something. I'm not sure yet. But I sort of feel like it's a Christmas design and the house is all black with its windows, so you would think that somebody might have a light on in the house. So that's my idea. I have seen a couple of people have done that as well in the group that have finished it already, and it looks really nice. So it's not all my idea. I'm borrowing it from somebody, but I like the idea. It's pretty cool. So that's all my whips. That's all I've got to show you for whips. So we're going to do a quick run through of my stitching games. Might need fortification for this, because it's not good. Well, it's not too bad. Right, temperature stitching. So this year I am attempting temperature stitching. Now the idea of this, I believe, originally came from Siska Stitches to match whips with temperatures. It has been adapted by other stitches and has been changed around, and Jen, the caffeinated crafter, is one person who has really elevated it to be quite full on. And I've sort of adopted this. I did start thinking about this as to have categories for it anyway this year, but Jen's doing it, so I'm sort of adopted her idea as well. I've set up 4 categories. I have a wheel spin for 3 of those categories, and the 4th category is the Christmas orny new starts from the Just Cross Stitch Facebook group for the Stitch Along. Now, I started picking my temperatures on the 1st of January and the projected temperature each week starting the 1st of January. So it's always going to be a Thursday. So it's going to be a bit off when I record, but it's okay. I was thinking of, do I just push it so that it's a Monday, but no, I'm sticking to a week. It's fine. It's always going to be the last number. So I have allocated my numbers as 0, 4 and 9, which is category mini kits and freebies. 1, 5 and 8 is the full coverage focus whip for the month. And that's not necessarily a focus whip. It's just one that is in my wheel for that to put some extra stitches into. 2 and 6 is the Christmas awning new start. And 3 and 7 is the whips that I haven't touched in years. And I would like to A, get them finished, or 2, just get some significant work in them. Now, all bar the Christmas awning new start one, those whips will stay on the wheel until they're finished. I'm not going to set a goal of say 1,000 stitches. I will just keep rotating through each month. Or if the whip gets finished, then it'll come up obviously sooner. Now, mini kits and freebies is Bentley, which I haven't worked on this week. Cat Race is the full coverage one, which you've seen and I have worked on. Home for the Holidays is the Christmas Orney one, which I've now started. I've got 100 stitches into. And Red Berry Wreath is the haven't touched in years, which again, I have put some stitches in for the week. So I need to pull up my spreadsheet. So where we're at the moment is Bentley has come up 6 times. I'm only doing 50 stitches each time they come up. So I'm trying to keep myself on an even keel with this and not get it too blown out. So Bentley's come up 6 times and I have completed 258 stitches already. So I've just got to do another 42. Cat Race has come up 9 times, I think. Yes, 9 times. I'm actually ahead of that because I've done 528 on Cat Race. So I'm ahead of that. I did put in the last one the other day, didn't I? Oh, maybe I haven't. I don't think I have. I might be actually up to date with Cat Race. Let's just have a quick look. I'll just pause you for a second so you don't have to see me doing this bit. Back. Cat Race is done. Yes, because I hadn't added my 219 from the other day. So Cat Race, I've now completed 747, which means I'm ahead of the game on Cat Race. The Home for the Holidays has come up 3 times. I have done 100 stitches, so I've still got to do 50 stitches on that. And Red Berry Wreath has also come up 3 times, so I still need to do another 49 stitches on that. So my temperatures are up to the 21st. So from the 14th, when did I talk to you? When was Thursday? 21st, yeah, it would have been the 14th. So we had the 15th is 36, 34 on the 16th, 17th was 26, we went through a cool change. 17th, 26, 18th, 28, 19th, which was yesterday, projected temperature was 33. Today they're saying 37, which I think it's now jumped to 39, but that's okay. And the 21st, when I picked this up last week, it said 35, and again, it's now going to be 39, I believe, tomorrow as well. So, yeah, so that's how they fell. So I'm quite pleased. So all I really have to do is pull out Bentley and do some more stitches on those turn, and I'm basically up to date with my temperature stitching. So I think leaving it at 50 really helps. That was a really good thing to do. Okay, Great British Bake Off. Yeah, so Series 16, which is the 2025 series. Week 10 is tonight, and week 10 is the final. There are 3 bakers left. I'm not even going to tell you I'm behind because it's just taken as given, right? Yeah. So the week 9 update. So week 9, for baker number 1, which is Be Well, I now have 400 stitches outstanding. There is no change on that, but that baker is through to the final. So I might pull that out this week and try and get some stitches in that and knock it off. I'm toying whether I actually add stitches for the bakers if they don't make it, but I don't know yet. Maybe I'll just do an extra 50, I don't know. I haven't thought about that yet. I don't want to add any more than what I need to do. So I'm not going to run through the ones that I'm still outstanding. I'm just going to talk to you about the ones I've touched or have changed. So Baker 5 is Give Thanks. I'm completely up to date with that one. There was no change to week 9. However, that Baker is through to the final. And that whip's finished. So whatever happens, I think I had like 79 stitches ahead anyway. So whatever happens, that's nothing more to be done on that one. Baker 6, I had Story Keep Wine Shelf attached to that one. I have 714 stitches outstanding on that now. And in week 9, Baker number 6 was eliminated, and they also lost the technical challenge. So we did end up putting an extra 350 stitches on top of that. Baker 8, Promise of Spring. Now this Baker is doing so well. I now have to do another 1,000 stitches to get myself up to date on that. It's actually 11 to 11. So Baker 8 won the technical challenge, and yet again was the star Baker, and that means that Baker is through to the final. And I have a funny feeling that Baker's the winner. So that'll be interesting. So that's basically the update on that one. Sewing Bee. Now again, behind on stitches. What's new? So this is series 11 for 2025. This is the 2025 series. Week 8 will be on Thursday night. And here's our week 7 update. Again, I'm just going to go through the ones that changed. Sewer number 1. So sewer number 1 is Sonura. Now sewer number 1 in week 7 was the transformation loser. So that Sonura has finally got some stitches on it. So I've got 50 stitches to do for Sonura. Sewer number 3 is a very strong sewer, and that's unfortunately Dressmaker's Daughter. I'm now sitting at 1,000 stitches for that whip. Sewer number 3 won week 7's garment of the week challenge, or was the garment of the week winner. So 200 stitches got added to that. Again, that is a very, very strong sewer, and I have a horrible feeling that I've chosen the wrong whip for that because, yeah, well, I've talked about my dramas with that one. I'm going to have to pull that out in the next week and work out what I'm going to do because, yeah, it's getting a bit under joke now. Sewer number 6 is Air Goddess. So we are now at 400 stitches outstanding for that. So that one's not too bad, but that sewer won transformation challenge for week 7, so that got another 100 stitches added to it. Sewer number 9 is the Pink Sparrow sampler. That one I now have 400 stitches outstanding, and that sewer sadly was eliminated. They also lost the pattern challenge, so 350 stitches got added to that. So I now know what I need to do on that, and I can easily pull that out at some point and get those stitches knocked off. And finally, sewer number 12, which is this, a Brush with Magic Story Keep. They won the pattern challenge for week 7, and I needed to have 100 stitches on that. So yeah, that's done because I'm ahead of the game on that one. Yeah, at least I'm ahead of something. So yeah, so that's the Sewing Bee. Here comes the ashes. Yeah, I am so far behind on my ashes stitching. It's just like, oh my goodness me. So as you saw, Kangaroo Santa, which was my whip for Australia, is finished. I still have 2,229 stitches outstanding for Australia's batting and whatever, bowling for at the Ashes. So I now need to start my seagull for, which is what I've chosen. So let me get that for you. I should have grabbed this earlier, but I forgot. I have chosen this now to be my Australia one. Now, there is no way I'm going to get 2,000 stitches on this, so I need to find another one. Whether I do that one I originally thought I would do, Carol Nielsen one, I don't know. But I'm going to start Seagull. Now, the reason I chose Seagull is in the day, and you still get it occasionally, often play gets stopped because of the seagulls all over the pitch. I've even seen a seagull get hit with a cricket ball. So I realised that I had this sitting in my stash of Mill Hills, so I think it's perfect for Australia. So that will be started probably this week if I can get some time to start it. And then we'll see how we're going for a third whip. I may just chuck the stitches onto something else that needs stitches and just be done with it. See if I can think of something. Now, the whip for England is World Travel Bookshelf. I desperately need to get some work on that one. Hopefully I can pull that one out this week. Now, England did really well in game 5 because I have now added up all my stitches. And I now have 2,878 stitches outstanding for World Travel Bookshelf. So yeah, it is what it is, right? We'll get there. It's all about making me have some goals to pick up some of my whips. So, you know, I'm not discouraged by having these outstanding at all. But I do need to get some serious stitching in them so they can start coming down so I can find something else to work towards. Whip Go. Now, there's been no change, obviously, in the Whip Go board, but I'll put the little picture up anyway, if I remember. I did work on a brush with Magick. So a brush with Magick is block number 2, and the goal for that is to increase it to 75%. So I'm really pleased that, you know, I am working towards that. And Sonura is the other block, which has a goal of 10%. So I need to work on that. And with the sewing bee, I've got some stitches now I need to complete on Sonura, so we can might get that out this week. What are my plans now for the next week? Well, here we go. So I want to do some more work on Home for the Holidays if I can. That I'm also using for the Semi-Sane Stitches Winter Start to Finish sale, which started in December and is due to finish in February. So the idea of that obviously is to pick something and start and finish it within that 3-month period. So let's see how we go on that. I would like to try and pick up Winter Welcome and get that started and get a couple hundred stitches into that. I'm using that for the Semi-Sane Stitches 2026 calendar sale, and I have chosen that particular design and split it into 12 equal parts to get that finished by the end of the year. We'll see. The other thing that I have, talking about Semi-Sane Stitches, is there is a event this year which is a stitching log event, and the idea was to choose some way to track your stitches for the year. My idea is to choose a whip, and then the idea is supposed to have been that I was going to start at the beginning of the year so that I could track my weekly stitches and not leave it all to the end of the month, but I have not got very far. But I have at least come up with some ideas now for what I can stitch on. I was trying to think of something that would be around about 12,000 stitches with the hope that I would actually get it finished this year, but I don't think that's going to work. But that's all right. But I have come up with some ideas. So I'm going to put up the pictures of the ideas when I talk about them. The first one, they're all Carolyn Manning designs, which I have. And they're her like shooting star, broken star ones, you know, the full coverage ones with all the like quilt blocks. So the first one I've got is a Shooting Star Collection Frig. I like that. So that's the front runner. And the other front runner is Broken Star Collection Flight of the Bumblebee, which is so lovely. And I actually think that might have been a freebie. I think this Flight of the Bumblebee was a freebie. And I think the other one, which is Arctic Blast, I think that was a freebie, but I can't remember now. So they're the 3 that I'm looking at. I'm thinking I'm going to do them on a 28 count hand-dyed, and I'm going to do them 1/1, whichever one I choose. They are obviously slightly different sizes, which is part of what I'm thinking. You know, do I go for the smallest one? I think Arctic Blast is the smallest. Or do I not care and just do eeny, meeny, miny, mo? Or do I just look at the fabrics that I've got and see what I can fit it on? Because I do like the idea of stitching it on a hand dyed, even though I know it's full coverage, but you'll still have a bit of a border around the outside of it. And it also just means I'm not stitching on white. But if I do hand dyed and I want to do 1/1, I'm not sure how that will work either. So we'll just see how we go. So that is in my plans for this week, is to basically get that sorted out so that I can either start it this week or certainly next week. And then get myself into a position that at the end of each week, I spend a couple of hours just doing the 10% of what my weekly stitches would be. Also, while we're talking about stuff, Full Coverage Fanatics bingo. Put a picture up. I have now completed 4. None of them are in a line. Well, they're both 2 lines, but none of them are going to give me a bingo. Either. Doesn't matter. Yes, I agree. Puppy agrees with me. But I have now completed 4, so I'm really quite pleased about that. I have done the New Start, and I have done the Chinese Animal, and I have just completed Evergreen and a Scene. I might have, had completed Evergreen and a Scene You Would Dream. So really, really pleased that I've done that. So we will see. So depending on how I get with my other ones, I might get one more in. So yes, so what am I doing for this week? Fairytale every day. Flamingos and Flowers on Friday. Long Winter's Nap comes out on Sunday because that's the 25th of January, and I would like to get that stitched on the 25th of every month again for this year. So that will come out for a couple hundred stitches. 6 Portals, as I mentioned, is now going to be my Sunday project. So with 3 things now being, so I'll need to do Fairytale, 6 Portals and a Long Winter's Nap on Sunday. So I have to work out how I'm going to manage that, but we'll get there. Brush with Magic will come out today, and I'll do some more work on that. Cat Race, as I mentioned, I'm still working towards my 1,000 stitches in blue. So that's got to probably come out Wednesday or Thursday. So maybe tomorrow or Thursday. Also need to work on Home for the Holidays and Bentley to just knock those temperature stitches off. But I'm going to wait now and see what the temperatures are tomorrow for the next week. And then I can work out what I need to do. I'd like to get onto World Travel Bookshelf if I can this week. So maybe Friday or Saturday, if I can get some time on that. I want to start the Seagull. I want to start Winter Welcome. And then for my bake-off catch-up stitching, maybe Tulip Time or Into the Woods, something that's small, and hopefully get a couple hundred stitches in. And my Sewing Bee makeup stitching to catch up will probably be Proverbs 3 and 4. So I haven't bought those to show you because if I don't get to them, I don't get to them. But if I do, you'll see them next week. And I think that is pretty much it. I'm going to leave my books that I've read to the end of the month. So when we do next week's video, which will be pretty much the end of January, I'll have a little thing at the back end about what books I've read for the month. So yeah, I think we're done. Just under an hour. Just under an hour. So yeah, could be a busy week coming up, or it may be a complete disaster and I get nothing done. So we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, I hope you have a lovely week and enjoy your stitching, and I hope you're safe. And I will see you in a week's time. Take care, happy stitching, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, liking and commenting and subscribing, and I'll see you in a week's time. Thank you, catch you later, bye.